2, 1.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
Boom.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Fantasy Jesus.
Boom.
I'm here to save your fantasy roster.
Boom.
Fantasy Jesus. It worked for The Rock and it's going to work for me.
Yeah.
Boom.
TSS Fantasy.
Boom.
Yeah. TSS Fantasy.
Boom.
And you just got flandered.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
And you just got flandered.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
And good start to the show. Welcome in to the TSS Fantasy Show. As you may notice, Commissioner Cooper is taking the night off. We hope you the best, Coop. We'll see you tomorrow. But until then, you got me, Fantasy Jesus, Semtex Mex 93, and you got Nick Flanders. How's it going today, Nick?
It is going spectacular. How are you? I'm all got my all Happy Valley. I'm ready to represent Saquon tonight, so I'm ready to go.
Hey, that's what's up. An Eagles fan who can represent. I love it. I love it. 100%. You came on this show, Eagles fan, and it's a New York Giants show. That's right. We are wheeling and dealing the Giants out today. And just like the Eagles, we will give them a proper introduction with a national anthem for them. Well, I know that pumped up our Giants fans in the back. But did that pump you up, Nick?
I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. It was like a Braveheart-esque. You know, I was gonna go into fighting a battle. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
It's funny when I first heard that song, I kind of had the same vibe. I had more like the vibe of like a pirate ship battle going on. You know what I mean? Like it sounded like it could have been on a Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack.
Johnny Deppish.
Yeah, very Johnny Deppish. But anyways, Nick, we are here to represent for the fantasy show of the people.
The people.
That's right. That's right. And guess what? New York Giants, that's what it is. It really doesn't feel the same unless Freddie's doing it. But I think I got a little bit good. I think I got it. But anyways, let's get a couple promos out the way here. First off, we have a Justin Jefferson jersey. That's right. All you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and send us a screenshot on any one of our DMs, either Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. And you will get yourself an entry into our giveaway for a Justin Jefferson jersey. If you subscribe to any of our other platforms, you get another entry into our giveaway. It's an awesome jersey. I have it right here. If anybody doesn't believe me, it's right here, ready to be shipped. There's the signature, baby.
Pretty.
Because like I said, we are the fantasy show of the people, and we don't mess around with our giveaways. But yeah, this is gonna be a good show. You know, like we did with the last show, we got to start it off with the Coop, talking with Dr. Miller and giving us the scoop on what to look at for our injury prone players. Percent to the bench.
Look, I'm a doctor, not an escalator. Spock, give me a hand.
The doctor is back in the house. Welcome to the city of New York. We are continuing our summer tour, and Dr. Miller is here to give us his wise words of percent to the bench. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good to be here. I have a feeling you're going to cite me to myself about my words on Saquon Barkley last year.
I was not, actually. I was just going to play it out. But, I mean, if you really want me, no, I actually wasn't going to call you out on that, but I appreciate you bringing that back up, indeed. All right, so speaking of Saquon, we want to talk about Saquon a little bit. Had some, obviously the big injury the season prior to last year. And then last year he was somewhat healthy, had a little bit of an ankle sprain that popped up, but for the most part, healthy, just a bad offensive line, quite frankly, to be quite frank for Saquon. I would like to know, however, going into this season, what is his percent to the bench?
Yeah, so just some perspective on Saquon. As a rookie, he had 700-yard plus games, and he's had 0 since then. Dude's had a tough couple of seasons. And this is not news to him. He said the other day, quote, "I want to go out there and prove to this organization that the player they drafted is still there." And so I said last year I was bullish on Barkley. That might have been a year premature. I'm still going to be bullish on Barkley. I'm going to call this a comeback season for him. Last year, like you mentioned, the ankle sprain was a bit of a fluke, right? It's like the universe conspired against him, that he steps on somebody's foot after the whistle. That, he doesn't have to deal with that this year, hopefully, combined with an improved offensive line for the Giants, makes me feel really good about Saquon Barkley this season. So, comeback season, 30% to the bench.
What's really funny is I actually wrote down bullish, but then I X'd it out like, the Ghostbuster sign, like, nah, don't say it. He brought it up yourself. You were bullish. We actually were both high on Saquon Barkley, to be fair. And I actually do agree with you. I do think I think I also was going to say the same thing, that I think I was a year premature. I think Saquon does have a decent year this year. I like his, like you said, the offensive line's a little bit upgraded. Daniel Jones is kind of like, listen, it's put up or shut up for him. We'll see. We'll see in the offense, but I do agree with you on that. Let's go from a not so injury prone player to a big time injury prone player last year. Basically, you could have did a whole show on him last year. Kenny Golladay, hip injury, knee injury, rib. He had everything last year. How about this season? What do you think his percent to the bench is?
Yeah, so missed time the last 2 years, like you referenced. He's combined for 19 games and about 850 all-purpose yards. Hip flexor strain in 2020 kept him at 11. Last year missed just 2 games, right, for the knee hyperextension. Like Kadarius Toney, however, who we're not going to talk about today, he spent some time during OTAs in a red jersey. As of late May, it's been removed, so that's, I guess, encouraging. I'm going to go 75% to the bench, but I think the bigger question that you guys are going to talk about, bigger than his health, is whether or not you want to waste a valuable pick on Kenny Golladay after his poor production the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, agreed. Not going to be really high on Kenny Golladay, to be quite honest. As you mentioned, came in with a lot of hype, maybe even like dark horse potential last year. did not live up to that at all. But that is in part to Daniel Jones as well. So again, improvement. We talked about improvement in the offensive line. I feel like I'm always putting a positive spin on things, but I'm just going to keep going. If there is improvement on the offensive line and we're saying Saquon's going to benefit, then we have to say Daniel Jones will benefit too, and thusly Kenny Galladay, if he can stay healthy. So we'll see. All right. Well, Dr. Miller, we appreciate you stopping in, giving us your percent to the bench. We're on our summer tour, and tomorrow we'll be visiting Washington, D.C. and the Commanders. Look forward to seeing you then, sir.
See you tomorrow.
All right. And so as you can see, we are joined by all of our guests. The Giant Brood is in the house. Obviously, let's go around the corner, or let's go around the horn here. We got the Rook from, great program, the Scoreboard Addicts over here. How you doing, Rook?
What's going on, Justin? What's going on, Nick? And what's going on, everybody else? I'm excited to talk Giant football June, but I am still fired up for football. So let's go.
Big Blue.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get football beat here already, man.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. We got the Maj over here right below. How you doing today, Maj?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Thank you for having me on, Justin. I really appreciate being part of his roundtable here.
Yes, sir. And if you don't know, his podcast is the Clapback Podcast. Really good show. You can check it out on YouTube, and you can check it out on his Twitter page as well. Tommy G, how you doing?
What's good, fellas? Happy to be on here. Thank you. I appreciate the invite. Justin, it means a lot. Ready to talk some Giants football. What are we, like 95, 96 days out? And, counting down the time. So I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir. And you write for the New York Rush, right?
Yeah, I'm with the New York Giant Rush team.
Nice. Awesome. And then finally, license plate guy. I mean, I thought I was the only one that had great golden locks over here, man. You fucking rocking it over there, man. You should be in California with those kind of locks.
I don't know. The Giants keep playing like they play. I might move out to California, just be a surfer for the rest of my life. Hey, honestly, though, like the other guy said, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have all you guys on here. So let's get down to it. Let's start talking Giants football. I know you guys don't want to mess around. Let's start getting into the games. I want to talk to you guys about an important game that I always like to watch because it's always kind of like seasonal. The Thanksgiving game. You're working yourself up to dinner. That's that 4:00 slot where you can take dinner to the couch and you can start watching. And who's going to be on that channel? It's going to be the Cowboys and the Giants. Always a friendly rivalry there. I don't think anybody hates the Cowboys more than the Giants. I don't know. Maybe Nick can verify that somebody hates them a little bit more than the Giants, but
nope.
No. Cowboy. We all hate the Cowboys equally.
Yeah, I agree.
We all hate them equally.
But let's go around the horn. Rook, start me off, man. What's a game that's really like you're looking at it on the schedule? You're like, oh, that's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, so obviously the Thanksgiving game, as you said, I mean, who doesn't love Thanksgiving football? It's always nice to see your team playing Thanksgiving football. But then again, if they lose the game, it'll be miserable at Thanksgiving. So maybe not. And the way the Giants have been playing the last couple of years, it looks like it might head that way. But my game that I circled is one of my favorite when the Giants do go out there is a London game. So people don't like it because it's early morning football, but I love early morning football. A couple screwdrivers, some mimosas, have a little fun with it. And then you got almost 12 hours, 13 hours of football. It's incredible. So I'm looking forward to that, even though it's against the Packers. Aaron Rodgers coming back with the Packers. Who knows how the Giants will stand up against the Packers during that game, but it's still just fun to watch. Just the whole novelty of playing in London, having a 9:30 game, getting up early, and immediately having football on the TV. So I'm excited for that one.
That's the thing, right? Having that 9:30 game, being an East Coaster, when you're finishing games at like 10, 11 o'clock, you're like, right. God damn, man, I got work tomorrow. All these West Coast guys, myself included at one point, I used to wake up 10 o'clock, turn on the TV, oh, football's on. Now I got to wait till 1 o'clock. I'm already hammered by then.
Yeah, it's much different when you're on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah. It's actually really nice. It's advantageous when you get those London games for sure. Mash, tell me what you're looking forward to, man.
Man, for me, I'll tell you what, it's got to be week 1 versus the Tennessee Titans. It's the tone setter for the season. The Giants, notorious the last 3 years, coming out falling flat on their face to start the season. New regime, new GM, new head coach, new offensive coordinator. Wink Martindale is an underrated signing, I believe, for this New York Giants defense. Comes with the years of experience building that defense in Baltimore. Come out and set the tone week one, New York Giants. Let's start it with a W.
100%, 100%. What about you, Tommy G? What are you thinking? What's your favorite game on the schedule?
Oh, he's muted.
You're muted, buddy.
My bad. We already touched on it with Dallas. I'm going week 3 at home versus the Cowboys, the first divisional test for Dayball and Martindale, right? The Cowboys are 9-1 against us, right? In the last 10 games, they've dominated us. I despise them. It's been rough, but this is the perfect way to kick off a new regime. You got Dallas at home. You're coming off a soft game versus Carolina. So this is a big opportunity. That's the first game I'm looking at to see, how much have we improved. We got the tough game versus the Titans week 1, a softie for week 2, and then the big Monday night showdown. So that's the one I'm looking most forward to.
Yeah, I love that one. You're right. 2 games against the Cowboys, and you get the spotlight all over that one. I mean, obviously because it's a big rivalry. Mr. License Plate, tell me what are you looking forward to, man?
Everybody kind of hit where I wanted to be anyway. Maj nailed it. It's got to be you have to set the tone right away in Nashville. I'm tired of the Giants 0-1, 0-2 year in, year out. But of course I circled the London game, like Rook said, because I love going out there. Giants are undefeated out there, and I can't wait to come home and the Giants will be undefeated at that time. So we'll be ready to rock and roll for the rest of the season.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I love the energy. I love it. So, we're talking about the schedule here. What do you guys think the record's going to be? I'm going to start with you, Tommy G, this time. You got Brian Daboll in. Like Mash said, you got Wink Martindale in there. You got a couple good draft picks. You got Kayvon Thibodeau. You got Evan Neal. You're building in the trenches. How are you feeling this lineup or this? This is a team that's kind of got pieces here and there, and now they're kind of really solidifying areas they've been weak on, the D-line and the O-line the past couple of years. How are you feeling schedule-wise going into the season? How are you feeling the record's going to be?
Yeah, so obviously anybody that follows me on Twitter knows I'm more of a positive Giants fan. I do like to look through positive lens. Joe knows that. I hate to beat a dead horse with a stick for how bad we've been, from September through December. I don't find any purpose in beating the team down in the offseason. That being said, it's a new offensive system, a new defensive system, new GM, pretty much new and fresh across the board. Things do take time to settle. I would say 9-8 right now, but you know how that goes. You're a couple of, missed field goals, hit field goals away from winning an extra 1 or 2 games. I love the excitement around the team. I really like Coach Dayball. I don't see why we can't win 9-10 games this year.
100%. Mash, what are you thinking on that one?
Well, I'm the type of Giants fan that believes that the Giants could go 17-0 every single season. So, last year I had us pegged for more wins than we definitely got. But I'll tell you what, I think the Giants range this season, I'm going to be a little more realistic. I think it's between 6 and maybe 9 wins. 9 wins being the ceiling, 6 wins being the floor there. Like Tommy had mentioned, Wink Martindale's defense is already showing what they can do in OTAs and camp now with the New York Giants. They're playing Julian Love more in that Jabril Peppers role at the line. John Feliciano mentioned the other day that he was lined up in the A gap there. So it seems like that this defense is definitely going to give opposing teams some headaches. What I really want to look at, because the defense hasn't really been too much of an issue for the New York Giants the last couple of years, it's the offense. I need to see this offense go from like 31st to in the top 15. If we do that, then I definitely think 9 wins is definitely in the probability.
I like it. I kind of had them around 8-9 wins. When I really went down the entire schedule, I was just like, there are a ton of games that could go either way. And there's a good stretch of games where you play Houston, Detroit back-to-back, where you could get some easy money wins right there. There's no easy money win in the NFL. Just ask, the LA Chargers losing to the Houston Texans. But
the problem is too, Justin. I mean, honestly, with this Giants team, which has been a thorn in our side the last couple of years, have been injuries. If you lose Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay for any stretch, you're starting Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton out there with, I mean, you know, whomever else, C.J. Board, David Sills. So, I mean, teams have to stay healthy. Giants don't really have a starting tight end right now as of this point either. The offensive line has to stay healthy. Well, you mentioned in the opening, it just a lot has to gel for the New York Giants this year.
Yeah, I mean, this actually transitions really well. I'm going to get to Rook and license plate guy in a second, but we had a comment coming from YouTube. It was from Philip. Let's see. And it was, you know, he says, what y'all's worry / concern with the line if Neal or Thomas go down early? So obviously, you know, that's something that goes in the head of everybody. You know, what's going to happen if the line goes down, because that holds Saquon back, right? That gets Danny Dimes sacked more. And we all know that, you know, he's gotten better, but I mean, I guess anything's better from 19 fumbles your first season. So, you know, obviously that line's a huge concern. And like you said, injuries are always a monster concern when it comes to any NFL team, any given Sunday. Anything can happen. But I want to get back on track with this. Rook, tell me what you think the record's going to be.
You know, I'm not as optimistic as our first two guesses here, but I mean, listen, there's chances for wins here. They have a weaker schedule, one of the weakest in the NFL this year, which is good. You have the Lions, you have Texans, you have Jags. Obviously, you have the Commanders, who knows what they're going to be. You play them twice a year. So there's chances for wins here for the New York Giants. I think they even play the Bears this year too again. So there are places for them to get wins there, you know, but I'm even though it is a new regime and I'm confident in the coaching staff they picked, I just don't know if the players are there yet to get them to, let's say, a playoff spot this year. I'm not expecting playoffs for the New York Giants. I'm probably more with Maj there, maybe 5 to 6 range win range. But I mean, who knows? You know, maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised and we'll have a good year in New York. But the last few years just hasn't shown me that they're there yet. I'm still have a little concern about Daniel Jones, whether he could be the guy. I mean, granted, it's his third offensive scheme that he's going to see in the last 4 years of his career. So it is tough, but if he could be that guy and make that leap this year, do or die time for Daniel Jones, and that's where this team basically is going to rest on is the quarterback's shoulders. And now he's got a little fire behind him because they got Tyrod Taylor, who's someone who can play in the NFL, and could push him a little bit to get a little better. And if he's bad in the first couple of weeks, I see Dable pulling the plug on Daniel Jones and putting Tyrod Taylor in there just to give something new for Giant fans to watch.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah. That would, I mean, that's an interesting take. I mean, Daniel Jones has kind of showed that streaky kind of nature where, he's either good or he's absolutely terrible. So
and he's got to stay healthy too, because there's a lot of injury. I think last year he got injured towards the end of that. He's not getting a fair shake maybe because of injuries too, but he's got to stay healthy and he's got to be the guy this year. He's got to jump up, make a leap.
1,000%. License plate. What are your thoughts on this year's record?
Well, Rook, Maj didn't say 5'6", he said 6'9", so get that 5 out of your head, first of all. and second of all, look, I'm born and bred a homer. I'm never going to look at it cautious, optimistic. I'm always going to, look at double-digit wins and stuff like that. It's just the way I am. I have no reason to go in hoping or praying that they get 4 or 5 wins on a season. I just never understood that. You shoot for the stars and it falls where it is. Look, everybody's had their turn right here, and what I'm hearing is injuries and this and that, and that's every team. So, the first question you got from for YouTube, he was like, are you going to be concerned if Neal and Thomas go down? Yeah, no shit. If anybody on that line goes down, I wanted 30 linemen in the draft. No, I'm sorry. I wanted 50 linemen in the draft. And then I wanted a big, cage battle in camp to see who's going to survive and play. So look, I'm not going to be cautiously optimistic. I am going to hope and pray that the Giants come out and just play competitive football. I too believe that they're 1-2 years away. I hope that, every year for some reason, Vegas comes out with 7.5, and I'm going with the over again, like I always do. But it is going to boil down to, injuries. It is going to boil down to Daniel Jones. They didn't pick up his 5th for a reason. I do believe he has the ability to ball out this year. Then he gets franchised. Then the organization tells him to do it again. And then he goes and does it again. And then you talk contract. So, the Giants are in for the long haul, I think. I don't agree with Rook, with Tyrod. I think this is Daniel Jones's team, and they run it to the end. And if he's not the guy, they're not going to just bench him and see what's going to happen. They're going to give him the reins. And if it's not him, they're going to draft one. And that's that.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's not him, there's an Ohio State quarterback that's rearing and ready to go.
I don't think Tyrod Taylor is the future long term, but I think you might just see it happen just so you see something different. I think.
Rook. I completely understand where you were coming from with that. Yeah. I mean, take us back to Manning. Everybody's like, get rid of him. For who? Yeah. Davis Webb? For who? Lauletta? So there's always that person that is sitting there waiting to play, but is it the next guy? And that's the $1 billion question in all of sports. In my mind, it is literally the hardest position in all of sports to play. So if Daniel Jones is not the guy and the Giants keep building parts and building parts, they got to make this decision quickly.
Yeah, well, I know you're old enough to remember, Joe, and I know Nick and I were talking about this a little bit beforehand, but Giants fans didn't appreciate Phil Simms until he was gone.
Yeah, and you're right about the Sims piece, and you're always going to have that. I mean, look at the people that wanted, to put Eli Manning in his grave, and now that, please, Manning, give us 1-2 more years. So that's going to happen with everybody. And by the way, don't think I didn't catch that Eagle fan up there was a Giant fan, and when he got rid of Sims, he became an Eagle. But I don't even know what that was all about. But I'm glad that's not part of the show.
Damn, Nick.
Well, Nick. Well, now that I was invoked, I'm gonna give you my opinion. Now I'm gonna be objective because I was looking at your schedule, and I agree with Maj with 6 is the ceiling. I mean, yeah, 6 is the 6 is the floor. Wow, 6 is the floor. And yeah,
spoken like a true Eagles fan. 6 is the ceiling. Oh my God.
Hey, license plate.
2 losses to Philadelphia.
No. No.
Philly.
6 is the floor.
I know,
9 is the ceiling.
I know. I was kidding.
Yeah, okay, your best stretch to win, to put on a streak is the 4 games from October 23rd to November 20th because you got in order. You got Jacksonville, Seattle, which are both away, and then you're home to Houston and Detroit. That's your best stretch to put 4 games together, 4 wins. You could always split with Washington. You could always split with Philly. So right there could be your 6, and then you can steal a game or 2. But realistically, 9 is your ceiling because.
I think we lost
line, and then you want to talk about Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod is Dayball's guy. He's not Jones's guy because once Jones starts to falter and Dayball, the coach, is like, dude, he ain't my guy. So, and it happens in every team, every organization. So once they bring in your successor, you got to start looking over your shoulder and you got to tighten up. So realistically, 9 is your ceiling, and I just being objective.
I'll be happy with 9.
Just objectively, that's the 4-game stretch you got to put together and put 4 W's together.
Well, you talked about that 4-game stretch. Don't forget the Giants went on 4-game winning streak in 2020 to help bring them back into that playoff race. The problem was that the Giants started 0-5. So again, the Giants can't have any bad starts.
Yeah, they got to start.
Hey, Miami did it. If Miami can do it, you guys can do it.
Yeah,
they went 0-8 and they came back and had a 9-8 season.
And then they fired their coach.
Yeah, and then they fired their coach. Don't do that part because I like Brian Daboll. He's a good coach.
Yeah, I don't want
it was the wrong Brian.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break, guys, but afterwards we're going to come back. We're going to bring this energy to trivia, guys. You guys ready?
I'm
ready.
ready.
Do
Fire
it.
it up.
Hayden, we love fantasy football. We do? It's a fantastic game, yet still not perfect. Like, I hate leaving high-scoring players on my bench.
The worst, man.
In fact, hate it even more when I put injured players and they're in my starting lineup.
Can't have that.
And I need a life. The waivers, the trades, every single week, it grinds on me. So we at Underdog Fantasy want to make fantasy football easier for everyone out there. It's called Best Ball, and we set your optimal lineup for you each and every week. You can do it all year long. We have drafts going all the way from February to week 1 of the NFL season. What are you waiting for? Use our awesome early sign-up offer to get a little extra something on that first deposit and that first time you play on Underdog Fantasy.
You put them up, reach the skies, touch the stars up above, cause it's one time for the underdog, one time for the underdog.
All right, so real quick, before we get into this trivia, I want to share a couple comments. We got a couple viewers going on right now. Anthony says he would love a 9-8 season and a wild card. I think everybody here would agree with you.
Justin, that's me. I'm just doing it to help you guys.
Oh. Well, you didn't have to
right
say
there.
that. We all know you as the Rook.
No, I just did it.
That's a good man.
Oh, that's funny. I love that. I love that. Well, are you this one too?
No, that's not me.
No, that was me. That was me.
Oh, well, love it regardless. Love the activity, guys. And like I said, I love the energy going in this one. I hope you bring the competitive energy because I'm coming at you with some trivia questions that are going to get you going. We're going to do it Family Feud style, so I'm going to do 5 answers. Just blurt it out when you have an answer. We don't have a buzzer or anything like that. So, you know, if we got to keep track of it, Nick's on the buzzer as far as
I get to play judge again tonight.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. So we're gonna start it off. The first question
Lawrence
is
Taylor.
I met him. I met him.
That's every question,
My
right?
Joe, stop cheating.
My fault.
Top 5 rivals for the Giants.
Cowboys. You just yell it
Number
out.
1.
Just yell.
Cowboys
Put it
number
out.
1.
Who got
Eagles.
it? Who got the first one? Who said
Cowboys,
it was Rook?
It
Eagles,
was Rook.
It was Rook?
Cardinals, believe it or not.
Hold on.
Wait. Hold on.
It's fantasy feud
Rook
style,
answered
so it
first,
goes-
and then we check to see if he's right. If he's right, he gets control of the board until he loses.
He's right.
That's fair.
He is right. Yes, he is right.
right. So I would say Eagles.
So it's the Eagle. Hold on.
No big deal.
All right, Rook, you got control, bud.
All right, so I would also go Eagles again. I guess I'll say it again, but Eagles. 72.
We already got you. We got you.
All right,
Eagles and Cowboys 1 and 2. You're looking for 3, 4, and
Am I allowed
5.
to say the word, the Washington R words?
The Washington Dan Snyder's.
Say it.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't
Now
know.
the last 2. What's that?
Niners?
Ooh.
Only because they played a few times.
Okay, it's 1 strike.
That was actually my
Yeah,
favorite. That was the one game that was one of my favorite games. 2002 divisional round. We came back on the Giants. Being a Niners fan,
That one. Yeah, that one. You're the one.
Oh yeah, that was so much fun.
I cried.
That was so great that they didn't call penalty. It was so great.
That was a penalty, man. Forget the blown lead. That was a penalty. He was eligible. I don't give a
Hey,
shit.
I'm actually.
okay.
I'm
Do
going
you know somewhere
Go Giants.
somewhere in this closet is a Trey Junkin jersey?
What?
Wow.
No way.
Yeah, Maj, you believe
Gotta
that?
see it.
Tommy,
Wow.
it's somewhere in there.
I wouldn't want that Trey
Joe,
Junkin
please.
jersey anywhere near me. It brings back so many bad memories, man.
I hear you, bro.
All right,
I was there.
we got the board.
Rook still's got the board. He's got 1 strike.
I'll throw it over to license plate guy because I feel like he probably knows it better than I do. I don't know if I know anybody else.
We're gonna open it up to the board. The last 2 rivals.
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals because they were in the division for so long.
Oh,
That's a
true.
good one.
I didn't think about that.
That is a good one, but it's not the right.
I do have a guess. I want to put this out there. So
I got one
I'm gonna
too.
go with the Chicago Bears.
The
I was
oldest
gonna get that
franchise.
one.
Not bad.
That's a
Yeah.
good one too.
I
Tommy,
Yeah.
you're a saving hope, Tommy.
Yeah,
Tommy.
I'm gonna go with our roommates, the New York Jets.
Hey, that's what's up.
Oh,
I know they're easily forgettable.
yeah. I don't think they're much of a rival when you beat them a lot, right?
It's like that little brother syndrome. Like the Yankee fans don't care about Mets fans, but
Yeah, it's true.
That's like that Metro Series rivalry, right? Like they got to kind of call it a rivalry, but it's not really. The last one you guys missed is one that you guys are very happy and proud of. The New England
England,
Patriots.
baby. I knew it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
that's not a rivalry to me.
we don't consider them a rivalry because they can't beat us when it matters. So it doesn't really matter.
It's one-sided, man. It's
yeah,
one-sided.
I agree, man. I mean, I know so many Patriots fans that dislike the Giants. I have no dislike for the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know what, Maj? You're actually that's who said that, right? You're actually one of the
Yeah.
few. I just don't understand the hate that some Giants people have for the Patriots, other than being a dynasty, which they were. I don't know the hate. I really don't. They never
Same thing with Brady.
Yeah, you
Why
think
hate-
they'd
why
be
hate
happy?
Brady?
They took
don't understand it.
Tom
Never
Brady.
did.
Only thing I can think of is because Bill Belichick, former New York Giant, right, then goes to the Patriots and then kind of creates his dynasty. But I was at a Super Bowl party for the Patriots Eagles, and there were Giants fans rooting for the Patriots. I'm like, how are you rooting for the Eagles? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, hell
No
I
way.
was about to say Patriots.
I'm like, how are
Yeah.
you rooting
I'm
for the
never
Eagles
rooting
as
for
a
the Eagles.
Giants fan?
And you
No,
know what?
all right, guys.
If
We're gonna move on to
anything,
question number 2. We'll get plenty of time.
NFC
at
East
the end.
pride. NFC East pride.
Screw the Eagles.
Never.
All right, guys. Next question. Winningest coaches for the New York Giants. 5. The top 5 winningest coaches for the New York Giants. Now, come on. You guys know this one.
Bill Parcells has to be one.
yeah,
Yes.
Mash.
First one.
go
Mash.
with the board.
Mash.
Yeah.
Tom
First one.
Coughlin.
Wait.
Hold on.
We gotta see if you're right first, Mash.
He's right. Give him the board.
No, he was right. He was right.
Okay.
And you were right, Tom.
Okay, so he's got what?
You got 2 and 3. Coughlin had 78 wins. Bill Parcells had 77. So you need 1, 4, and 5.
Yeah, now this is where Jim Fossil.
Correct.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
58
peace.
wins. I believe he was coach of the year at one point too.
Now
This-
these are probably going to predate me.
This team is going to the playoffs.
Like a Steve Owen. Maj.
Pushing the
Get him.
chips to the table.
Get him, Maj.
All right,
Charlie Sherman.
I'm gonna tag in Tommy here.
Man,
I don't think you guys get how this works.
No,
Yeah, right.
All
It's
right,
Jeopardy.
I'm
It's
gonna
team
take one more
Jeopardy.
Coming in, man. I'm coming off the top rope if you need me. You need me?
All right, I'll take it.
Snap me
Hey,
in.
you want to tag him in? You got it. We'll make it a tag team here. Rookie license plate guys and Madge.
All right. If we're going
Let me
tag
go.
team, then if I put McAdoo, Shermer, and Judge together, no, they're still
Nah,
no,
still not
they're
there.
still
you
not
still
there.
barely have 20 wins.
Yeah, we're still not there. We're still not there.
Listen, I'm gonna go with all of our all-time favorite head coach for the Giants, Steve Owen.
That's what I said.
Hey, look at that. And 53. Last guy.
Is number 1 that we're
Number
missing?
5. Steve Owen was
Number
number 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I said Owen.
Yeah, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I know he was a really older school coach.
I think.
Was it Sherman?
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say
He be killing.
Joe texted me the answer, by the way. Thank you, Joe.
Oh.
Also,
All right,
happy
let's go.
belated birthday to Joe. Yesterday was Joe's birthday. Happy
Hey,
birthday,
happy
brother.
birthday, Joe.
happy
We all
birthday.
appreciate
Appreciate it.
We
Happy
all
birthday.
appreciate you, brother. For real.
Hell yeah. So we got our third question. Rushing yards leaders. Top
Oh,
5.
got it. Put Hampton up there. But
That's a good one.
All right,
Wait.
License plate.
License
You
plate.
good? You good?
up there. Put
So-
Joe Morris up. Put Tiki
So,
Bar up there. Put
License
Joe
plate
Morris up there.
and Rook have got the control of the board.
Yeah,
Jay,
Wait,
don't
who
even
does?
care about
he,
the rules.
he just knocked off 2 of them with Tiki Barber and Joe Morris.
And
Go-
Hampton.
I'm gonna
Hampton.
let you
Oh,
just
sorry.
run with it. I'm gonna let you just run with it. Go for it. You need
go.
2 more. You need 4 and 5. Rook and license plate guy.
All right. Hampton.
You said Hampton won.
You already said Hampton. You said Hampton.
right, you got
and
Morris.
Barber.
Right. You got Barber. You got is Morrison in there? I don't.
Yeah, Morrison.
Mm.
No,
I
That should
believe
be
this
up
guy
there.
played in your softball tournament.
I'm
Joe.
thinking. I swear to God, I'm thinking of the guys. But
Oh,
didn't
Brandon
the,
Jacobs.
did the Giants?
Hey, teammate coming in the club.
Yeah, Brandon Jacobs.
Brandon Jacobs was
Can't believe
number
that. He's going to be
4.
so mad I didn't get that one. By the way.
Yeah,
Who's Morrison?
I could have swore it was Morrison, but I guess not.
Joe
Hey,
Morris.
I'm gonna go throw this out.
Imagine
Frank
Morris.
Gifford.
Oh, he was number 6.
Brooke, who did the Giants just lose? He passed away a few. Oh, Ron Johnson.
Oh, also
Damn, that was 3X.
Gifford and Johnson are actually back to back, 6 and 7.
Oh, really? Oh, dang.
Yeah. So you're
Only
looking
other
for
person-
5.
Only other person I'm thinking of is Ahmad Bradshaw.
He's up there.
He's up
I don't
there,
think he's in the
high
top
He-
5.
he's
though.
up there, but no.
I get 8 or 9.
I think I got it.
All right, you got it, but let's see
I
if
think
these
so.
guys can get it.
It's
Real-
so hard not. It's so hard
License
not
plate, you
using
get one more
Google.
shot.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
hard
old
not to
school.
Google. I know. I want to Google it right now.
I know it's so hard not using a computer. Man, I'm trying to think. Running back. It's of course when you say it, we're all going to be like, "You got to be kidding me." No, I'm blank.
I'm drawing a blank here because everyone I gave was in the top 10,
OJ?
but not
No,
top
he
5.
wasn't rental.
Maj and Tommy, you get 1 shot to steal.
Get it, baby.
It's got to be an older school back. I'm trying to think
Yep.
of old school backs.
Yep.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Tucker
Webster.
Fredrickson.
What's that?
Alex Webster.
Oh.
Oh,
Ooh.
No?
god damn.
Wow.
Yeah,
Tommy
that
has
was a good
just
one.
been clutch with these last minute ones, man. All right,
bad.
we got 2 more for you. I got one that's really good, and then I got one that's kind of just like up the alley if you're a foodie. So let's go with the receiving touchdown ones. Top 5 receiving touchdowns. Who you got?
Tumor.
Tumor.
Tumor is number 1. Who said Tumor?
License plate.
All right, license plate Tumor.
Tuma.
It's not a tumor.
Mexico.
Yeah,
No,
we
license
all,
plate. You got the license plate, and Rook got the board.
all right, Rook, come on, let's go, man. Are we going with Plax or not?
I don't know if he's up that high.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he's a top 5. I'm gonna go again with Frank Gifford on this.
You
one.
have to go with. Yeah, I'll go Gifford as well. How about old school, like a Ernest Gray or somebody like that era of the 80s? Like, do they have? Trying to think of the wide receivers that would have been that way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of 80s or 90s, or even later on. I'm struggling here with the receiver one. The most touchdowns.
Well, I got one.
I looked up, because I was talking to Commission about this. He was like, look up like receiving yards. He's trying to give us hints. And I looked at receiving yards, not touchdowns.
It's clear as day, too, this one.
Is OBJ?
Hey, he has you in the right
Clear as
ballpark.
day.
Yeah, it's got to be
OBJ, right?
Odell. Yeah,
OBJ,
Odell.
baby.
OBJ. yeah.
Hey, okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's clear as day too. I just
forget
figured
about
he just
the
had a
boy.
short career, but yeah, he had a
All
lot.
right, I'm just gonna break this up. The first team to get the next 2 guys wins the entire thing.
Kenny Galladay.
Andrew Thomas.
X on
He's
that.
on the
That's
field to
crazy.
catch a ball.
Joe
That's
mentioned
crazy.
him before, but
Andrew Thomas, yeah,
Morrison.
Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas, baby.
Hey, Maj, what'd you say?
Joe Morrison.
Boom.
Somebody else mentioned Frank Gifford, right?
We need
Yeah.
number 2.
We got it. We got
We
that.
got Amari Toomer. We got Frank Gifford. We got Odell Beckham. We got Joe Morrison.
Very
We need
cool.
Number 2.
Is Tiki up there?
No.
No, receiver.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Oh, he had a lot of receiving touchdowns too.
It's got to be another old school. It
That's
has
hurt.
to
That hurts me. What do you do? That hurts.
Right? Loud too.
be. Aggressive.
It goes into my soul.
Nick
hurts
can
so
appreciate that one.
See, I know because he was alluding to me. That's what he was doing.
Dude, I don't know why I can't get the 80s. I can't get the 80s out of my head. I can't get like a Lionel Manuel out of my head. I can't get a Bobby Johnson out of my head, but they can't be up there. They can't be.
No,
I don't think they are.
Don't give me no X either.
it's gonna be old school.
License plate. This is for you, bro.
I got a double X. Great.
That's not nice. You don't get.
All right,
You don't get
all
Joe
right.
a double X, man.
All right. You're gonna,
Double
Can I
X.
guess it? Can I
we
guess
got,
it?
we got one last question for you. Yeah, you can guess it.
Would it be Stephen Baker?
Nope.
No, he's
Touchdown
much
maker.
lower.
Stephen Baker.
I have never heard someone say so many wrong things, one after the other, consecutively in a row.
I wish it was
Shit's Creek is
Bavaro,
great.
but I know it's not Bavaro either.
All right, guys. One last question. Whoever gets it right is the winner of the entire game.
What was the answer for the fifth
Yeah, who
guy?
was number 5?
Number
Kyle
2.
Rote.
Oh, Kyle Rote. Oh,
Kyle
Lord.
Rote.
Kyle Rote.
We
48
never got that.
touchdowns.
We would have been here all night.
Yeah.
All right, guys. How do you say the New York Giants?
The New York Football
How-
Giants.
Boom.
Our leader has prevailed.
And for Tommy G and Maj,
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
all right, guys, for these last 13 minutes, I want to kind of just pick your brains on who you think is going to be good for fantasy. Because we are a fantasy show. We are the fantasy show of the people, and we want to give some insight to the people. You know, I'm just going to throw it around to everybody. You know, we'll start off with Maj first. Who do you think's got potential this year? Are you liking Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay? Obviously, we probably like Saquon. Are you a fantasy guy at all either?
Yeah, actually, how I started out on Twitter was through fantasy football. So
yeah.
I'm actually in quite a few fantasy leagues. I'm in 20 plus. I do mostly dynasty though, so
Nice.
not too many redrafts. So if you guys want, make sure you follow me at @demage_NFL. But look, I'll tell you what, this is a year to buy Giants, especially in dynasty. You can probably get them in redraft a lot later than what other people are anticipating. But
Yep.
Saquon Barkley is a buy low candidate right now. People just want to get rid of him. They want to dump him because of the past 2 years of his production. Daniel Jones is another guy that you can probably get dirt cheap. I'm thinking that Daniel Jones this year easily, if we're looking at what he did under Pat Shermer's offense, he could be a 3,500 yard to 4,000 yard passer. You could be looking at anywhere between 25 and 30 touchdowns. And I'm going to give him a 2-to-1 interception ratio. So I'm looking at 25 touchdowns with 12 interceptions.
boy.
And then
Oh, yeah.
you're also the rushing yards on top of that. The thing that upset me the most with the Joe Judge regime is that we hadn't seen Danny Dimes. I say Danny Dimes since 2019. That was the best that he's ever played. And it was more instinctual play. The Tampa Bay game, when the defense parted like the Red Sea and he ran it in for the touchdown, those were instinctual plays. Those weren't called. And that's what I want to see more of. And Brian Dable has claimed that he's going to let Danny fly this year. So I'm excited about it. Look, you got to know what you have. Danny's biggest turnover issues comes with the fumbles, and it comes with no real offensive line. So I'm really excited about it. the other person is certainly Kadarius Toney. If you can get Kadarius Toney, I know some people are still kind of wishy-washy on him, but Bellinger too. If you're in a tight end premium league right now, I think Bellinger is going to end up being the starting tight end. But I'll tell you what, I'm
Can't
going
mention everybody, Maj.
to continue to name.
Yeah, you mentioned the whole team already, bro. Leave some for the rest of us.
The defense too.
I am in a few IDP leagues. If you want me to go into defense, I'll do that also.
Nobody left.
Let's
swing it over.
I'm
Like, all right, he mentioned this guy. He mentioned this guy.
Yeah, no.
You like this year, man.
I agree with Maj. I think it's time to buy on the Giants. When you look at some of the rankings for Yahoo, you got Saquon Barkley's 31st overall. Then you see a dramatic drop off. You got Kadarius Toney 130th overall. Kenny Galladay 143rd overall. I think you see vast improvement from this offense. You got Dayball, who was the coach for this number 2 overall offense in the league last year. You got Mike Kafka, who was the coach for quarterback coach for the number 1 overall offense in the NFL last year. You're going to see improvements, especially if you're in a dynasty league. I definitely try to get in on Toney. I know a lot of people are kind of wishy-washy on him, whether it's the injuries, whether it's the extracurricular stuff. Kid's got a ton of talent. He's by far and away the most dynamic player on the New York Giants right now. Nobody could move like him. Agile, quick, fast, can catch the ball, can use him on the X, can use him in the slot. As far as sleepers, I got a couple sleepers. So to agree with Maj, I got Daniel Bellinger. His average depth of reception in college was 4 yards. So they never even used the kid really up the seam. They never really used him deep. Never dropped a pass in college. I think he could provide some real mid value, especially if he's tight end 1 for us, which I'm thinking he's going to be tight end 1. And then you have, Wan'Dale Robinson, played running back in college. You're going to see him in the slot, of course. You're going to see some gadgets, some trickeration stuff, especially with Kafka. We already seen some stuff today with the goal line shovel pass that I've been pining for as we've struggled in the red zone for God knows how many years. So I think you can get some sleepers on the Giants. I would go Wan'Dale and Bellinger. And then if you want to go high, you go Barkley. You know what? If he's healthy, last year he was never healthy. He had the torn ACL. He has the amazing game against the Saints, right, Joe? He's running down the sideline, scoring, scores the game-winning touchdown in overtime, and then he steps on a Cowboy's ankle and almost breaks his entire ankle. And then he's never healthy again for the rest of the year. That's where I'm at with it.
Very nice, very nice. I love it. I really do think that Kadarius Toney kind of has like a Deebo Samuel-esque feel to him, where he can be all over the field and he can just be a bruiser all over the field. And like you said, Barkley is a steal at this point. If he's overall 31, you're looking at a guy who was going first round for the previous 2 years.
Absolutely.
It's a demon, man. And then you bring in a guy who likes to run the ball, likes to throw out to his running back. Maybe we get the Saquon Barkley of 2 years ago that had 94 catches. So awesome takes there. License plate. Give me who you got, man.
Hey, look, we're all in agreement here. I'm with those guys that just spoke. I think you got sleepers are right on, and I think Barkley is a no-brainer. Stepping on that guy's foot, just made his season miserable, but it gave him an extra time to heal on that knee. So I think he's literally going to come out and put up crazy numbers. And again, it goes back to that offensive line. So honestly, where do the Giants offense rank to pick up the offense in total? Because they're going to, you know what? Kafka and Dable, they're going to be like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to go 5 wide. Why are you going to go 5 across? Because we can. So I think the Giants offense is going to be quietly surprising. And those guys just nailed it. Pick up all those players and you'll be fine.
Rook, are you in agreement?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. So what? Agreement. Is that even a word? I'm
agreement.
in agreement.
It's called agreement, not agreement.
When I said agreement,
I kind of like that word actually. I might use that.
Not English majors, aren't we? Not English majors.
I might use that.
I said in agreement.
Yeah, I work with fish. Get over it. They don't care how I speak my English.
The thing is, as soon as I said it and repeated it back, I'm like, that's definitely wrong. And my legal writing professor is probably yelling at me right now. Like, you never used agreements during any of those briefs, I hope. All right. Here's my thing about Daniel Jones. He's a dual threat guy. Dable with Josh Allen. They're similar heights. I think Allen's a little bit heavier. He's 16 pounds heavier than he is. So Daniel Jones is a little lighter, but he is a big threat. We had, I think, 6 touchdowns last year for Josh Allen rushing, 31 career. rushing yards. I mean, rushing touchdowns under Daboll's offense. So Daboll is going to take that same offense, bring it over to the Giants. He has a dual threat quarterback. As Joe's praying to God, I really do hope. And if Daniel Jones is those dual threat guys are huge in fantasy. Look at Lamar Jackson. Look at Kyler Murray. Like a guy who could both throw touchdowns and then rush for them as well is very highly touted. So sleeper, maybe not start with him as your QB1, but if you put him on the bench and he starts taking off, there's great points there that could be had in fantasy, especially if you have some fantasy leagues have two quarterbacks. If you have two quarterbacks, Daniel Jones could be one of them. And then I agree with Saquon Barkley and with Tony and Galladay. I would say maybe Galladay because Galladay, if you look at it, if he's not injured as much as he was last year, he's going to be productive. The offensive line looks better. We're hoping it's improved. We haven't seen it on the field yet, but we're hoping that they did enough to improve that. That means Daniel Jones will have time to throw, and then these guys time to get downfield and get open. And I think Kenny Galladay is going to be a sleeper pick. Not a sleeper, but he'll be a low level, you buy low and hopefully sell high.
I don't know, Rook. I'm still mad. I'm still mad. I might pick up Tyrod Taylor after this whole show. I might,
I always said if he did bad, if Daniel Jones,
I don't know what I'm going to do now.
Plug on him.
So I will add something
on the waiver wire, but maybe just go pick him up just in case.
There's Tyrod.
So I will add something in Kenny Galladay's defense. So US Today put out an article the other day highlighting Jones' efficiency on 7-step drops, where he was 22 of 26 passing. And he also led all passers in quarterback rating in 7-step drops. So 303 yards passing, I believe it was, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked once. The other stat that I looked up, which was most surprising about that too, he also had the highest completion percentage and the highest on-target percentage of all quarterbacks in 7-step drops. We know that Daniel Jones is best when targeting deep passes, 20-plus yards. I think that bodes well for Kenny Galladay. They might actually have a coaching regime that might know how to use him with those contested catches instead of just running freaking curl routes and comeback routes with them.
Yeah. To touch on that, Maj, we're going to see a lot more 7-step drops now that we have an offensive line that can actually block. That stat was great, but it was a limited snapshot. So imagine him actually getting some blocking in the interior. We stacked up the interior O-line. We got our stud right tackle. We got our bookends. So we should see a lot more of that. So that's a good point, Mosh.
One last point, Matt Breida. So if you're afraid of Saquon getting hurt, pick up Matt Breida as a cuff. And if he gets hurt, he's going to step right in and he'll be fine.
Hey, Matt Breida, trust me, I'm a 49er fan. Matt Breida was gold for a little bit. Then he gets these injury problems, man. Then you just
One name I'm going to put out there, especially in dynasty leagues, if you have a deeper bench, Antonio Williams came over from Buffalo. The Giants are looking to use Saquon Barkley apparently more in the passing game, which means somebody has to pick up those yards. People don't realize, but last year, Saquon Barkley and Devontae Booker finished with exactly the same amount of rushing yards, same amount of passing receiving yards. So somebody's going to have to spell Barkley and pick up that dirty work inside the numbers.
Yeah, fair enough. And you know what? I really liked what you said about Bellinger, because I was reading early reports about Bellinger where coaches were saying they don't even want to take him off the field. Like, if you're making that kind of impression on your coaches from day one in OTAs, like, I'm all in on that. Even if you don't pay off in year one, like you said, dynasty. I'm getting Daniel Bellinger right now because I'm targeting him. 4th round of rookie drafts right now. Like, that's just money right there.
He's going and drafted in a lot of mine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's that back end guy. He's that guy that you're waiting till the 30th round, you're picking him up, the steals. But anyways, guys, it was a great podcast. I do want to do a quick plug for all you guys real quick. Let me throw it to Rook. Tell us about the Scoreboard Addicts. Tell us what you're going to be doing this week.
Yeah, Scoreboard Addicts, we're basically entrenched in Rangers playoff hockey right now. So we're constantly talking about the Rangers. We do a podcast after every Rangers game, rapid reaction. And we're not talking about like in-depth analysis. We're talking about true fan reaction. Like we were miserable last night. And that's what, I mean, every Ranger fan should be like that. So we're basically just typical fans. We're New York centric. I'm a Giant fan. The other two guys are Jets fans. We're all Yankee fans. Rangers, Knicks. We have a Nets fan as well on the podcast. So we try to stick with that New York sports centric, and then we'll also cover national stories as well. And then every now and then I pull out my legal degree and I go into some legal analysis and some of the legal stories. Like Deshaun Watson keeps me busy.
That's sick.
So,
Dude. That's sick.
I bet he does,
We need
man.
that.
We're gonna have to have you come on here just to talk about that, man.
yeah, definitely. It's a long thing. But catch us at the Rook 22 is my handle, and the Scoreboard Addicts and Twitter is Score Addicts Pod. And then we're available Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok.
Cool. Maj, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, man. Make sure you follow me at LPG. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at @DeMage_NFL. And then, as you mentioned earlier, too, we also have a weekly podcast that we do called Clapback Sports, where it's mainly a New York Giants podcast, except for in the offseason. Because there's not much to talk about. So we just been doing some Rangers hockey, just trying to keep it a little light. We had another Eagles podcast on recently. We did some trivia as well there. So just trying to have some fun in the off season, but make sure you check us out everywhere: Apple, Google, Spotify. That's Clapback Sports. Thanks. Yeah, and Justin, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome, and I apologize for absolutely butchering your name every single time I get the
Everybody
chance.
does it every single time, so no worries, man.
Tommy, tell us about what you're doing, man.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you, Justin. I really appreciate coming on, hanging out with
Appreciate
some
you.
great guys. I had a ball tonight. My Twitter handle is TommyG105. I'm a part of the New York Giants rush team. We got some really dope interviews. We just interviewed Chase Blackburn. We got Daniel Bellinger. We got Daniel Bellinger a couple weeks ago. Awesome kid. His dad is phenomenal. So you can catch those videos on YouTube. The Giants Guys is the name under there. And that's pretty much it. You know, I'll be out there. I'll be expanding soon. You know, I'm a little newer than, you know, Maj and a couple other guys, but, you know, my heart is all in with the Giants, and I'm working, and stay tuned.
Hell yeah. We will, man. I'm going to go check out that Daniel Bellinger interview just because I want to know more about this kid while I'm drafting, yo.
Absolutely.
License plate. Tell me what you're up to.
At license plate guy, I'm mad boring. That's it. That's all you got to do.
I don't know, man. You kind of got that fire pick that Kayvon keeps going around on draft day. So,
Yeah. Hey, look, I've been known for the Daniel Jones and the Kayvon, but the Kayvon thing is so silly, Mage, because I mean, look, of course I wanted 50 linemen in the draft, and all three tackles were there. So you have to be an idiot if you weren't happy with Kayvon. You're talking about consensus number one for most of the college year, so it was all in fun. And every Giant fan should be damn happy to get those two in the draft.
Honestly, I think every team wants 50 linemen at some point.
No,
I mean, I'm pretty
this
sure
year-
most teams that want to win, they put 50 linemen before they put the wide receiver they want.
Yeah, now it was a major goal of mine this year. I'm just tired of every Giant fans they're fractured going into the offseason, talk about the same thing over and over again, and finally, I think it's on its way to being fixed, and it's taken a long time for that, and it's a shame it's taken that long. And Gettleman took this franchise back tons of years.
Yeah,
awesome. And Nick,
if I may, just one thing.
Go
the
ahead.
drafting of Kayvon Thibodeau led to a pretty dope picture with him and LPG. It's one of my favorite pictures this year. I love that one. That was a
it's
dope
fun.
picture, Joe.
I appreciate that, Tommy. And I said to him when he came over, I was like, look, I wanted you at 7, not at 5. And he said, I wasn't going to be there.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, you probably weren't. You're right.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here because we're at a time limit. As for me and Nick, we will be back next week or tomorrow. Sorry, not next week. Tomorrow for the Washington Commanders. Luckily, I won't be in the seat. But anyways, Nick, I'm sorry I didn't give you time to say your goodbyes, but we got to get out of here.
Goodbye.
Thank you guys so much. And once again, Fantasy Show of the People, delivering for the people.
We're on a mission. We're on a mission.